OK, bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, nous allons regarder leçon 5.8, les volcans. So les volcans en anglais is volcanoes. So ici, ça dit un volcan qui gronde, des gaz qui s'en échappent, de la lave qui coule sous les flancs. Ce phénomène spectaculaire est une manifestation de ce qui se passe à l'intérieur de la Terre. So you guys have all probably have seen volcanoes that are erupting in shows or in movies or in the news. So a volcano is a huge eruption that happens. Gas escapes from the volcanoes, and lava, of course, comes out of the volcano. So the definition of a volcano, it says, qu'est-ce que c'est un volcan? Pour définir un volcan, il est nécessaire de décrire comment il se forme. D'après toi, un volcan peut-il se former n'importe où dans le monde? So in order to define a volcano, we're going to first describe on how it is formed, because there's a couple of ways that volcanoes are formed. And it's also asking you if you think it can form anywhere in the world. So, définition. Un volcan est une ouverture qui se forme dans la croûte terrestre lorsque du magma provenant du manteau de la Terre parvient jusqu'à la surface. So it's an opening, it's an ouverture that forms in our Earth's crust, la croûte terrestre, when magma, now we already talked about magma that's in the mantle, comes up to the surface. So it bursts through the surface. Accumulation de lave et de cendres expulsées par le volcan façonne souvent une montagne qui peut de nouveau entrer en éruption. So this accumulation of lava that comes out of the volcano and the cendre, that would be like the sparks and ash, when it comes out, it will dry up and harden into a mountain. And this mountain, this volcano, can actually erupt a second, a third, a fourth time, etc. So we're going to talk about where we find them. Où trouve-t-on des volcans? Il y a environ 1500 volcans actifs à la surface de la Terre, sans compter ceux qui sont au fond des océans. So there's about 1500 active volcanoes happening right now. And some of them are happening underneath the water. You don't even know that they're happening. They're happening at the bottom of the ocean. Les points rouges illustrés sur cette carte indiquent l'emplacement des principaux volcans dans le monde. So all these little red dots, all along here, they are showing the main volcanoes in the world. So let's start by talking about the two ways that volcanoes can happen. Okay? La première façon ici, sur la côté gauche. It says plusieurs volcans terrestres se forment dans les zones de subduction. Voir la page 177. So we already talked about that when we were talking about les plaques tectoniques, that when you have collision, when two plaques tectoniques come in contact with one another, one gets forced down into the manteau de la Terre, and the other one gets pushed kind of sideways. And that pressure can cause the mantle, the magma in the mantle, to get all very, very agitated and under pressure, and then it will go up through the cracks in the volcano and explode at the top. So that's one way a volcano can happen. Si tu regardes ici à la côté droite, it says certains volcans se forment à l'intérieur des plaques, au-dessus de ce qu'on appelle des points chauds. So we actually have what are called hotspots. Okay, and no, it's not a Wi-Fi hotspot. A point chaud in this case, a hotspot, is where the Earth's crust is actually thin. Okay, so it's really, really thin. And so because of its thinness, magma can get up through it and crack and burst through easier than if it was thick. So it says les îles de Hawaii se sont formées ainsi. So actually, the Hawaiian Islands were formed that way. Okay, it's basically the whole islands of Hawaii are melted volcanoes, or hardened volcanoes, I should say. À ces endroits, la croûte terrestre est très mince, it's very thin. Le magma peut donc facilement remonter à la surface et provoquer des éruptions volcaniques. So the magma can easily get through it because the earth is actually thinner, the plaque tectonique, the tectonic plate. So where do we find the majority of volcanoes? Well, you can see all these red dots, okay? So there's a few here, a few here. What you'll notice is a lot of these volcanoes are on the outskirts of a plaque tectonique. So do you notice that? Okay, so here, like the puzzle piece, there's a lot of red dots. So it says la majorité des volcans sont localisés autour de l'océan Pacifique dans la ceinture de feu. So the majority, it's highlighted here, majority of volcanoes are found in around the Pacific Ocean. Now we're over here. Here's Prince Edward Island way over here. So you can see we don't have any hot spots near us, right? We don't have any of those little red dots. So that's why we don't have any volcanoes here. And we're kind of far away from the nearest plaque tectonique, the border. So here you'll notice that all these little red dots are in what we call la ceinture de feu. Now in English, that's called the ring of fire. Okay, so the ring of fire, it's also a song by Johnny Cash. But the ring of fire is where all the volcanoes, or the majority of them, are found. It says cette zone correspond à la bordure de plusieurs plaques dans laquelle se produit de la subduction. So like I said, you'll notice that they're right on those lines, the plaque tectonic lines. And they're usually formed by what we talked about over here on the left, la subduction. So it says la majorité des volcans se forment dans la ceinture de feu, là où se trouvent plusieurs zones de subduction. D'autres se forment au-dessus de points chauds. So there's the two ways. You can have zone de subduction, which are like all along here on the plaque tectonique, the line there, the crack, or les points chauds, hot spots, like Hawaii. Okay, so the croûte terrestre underneath Hawaii is actually really, really thin. So the magma can burst through the Earth's crust a lot easier. Si on regarde la prochaine page, okay, it shows you all the parts of a volcano. Okay, so it says, voyons maintenant à quoi ressemble l'intérieur d'un volcan et comment se déroule une éruption. So this is inside the volcano and how an eruption happens. So let's look at numéro 1. It says, le magma s'accumule dans un réservoir situé sous le volcan qu'on appelle la chambre magmatique. Des gaz s'y mêlent, créant un mélange explosif. Dans la chambre magmatique, la pression augmente peu à peu. So if we go down to number 1, okay, so number 1, chambre magmatique is down here. So down here in the chambre magmatique, all the gases are mixing together, right? And they're creating something that's going to explode. Okay, the pressure is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, so it's ready to go up. It's like a reservoir. It's like a storage spot. Okay, where all the magma is stored. Then what happens? Lorsque la pression devient trop forte, le bouchon de la cheminée explose. Cette éruption. Le magma et les gaz sont projetés vers la surface de la Terre. So when the pressure gets too much in here, the top, okay, of the volcano is going to explode. And that's what we call an eruption. So the magma and the gas that are in here, right, are projected towards the surface of the Earth. Numéro 3, la plus grande partie du magma monte par la cheminée principale. Certains volcans ont aussi des cheminées secondaires. So the majority of all this magma is going to go up what we call the main chimney, okay, le cheminée principale. But you'll notice that there's all these like little cheminées secondaires, like they don't actually burst through to the surface. They actually just kind of go inside the earth, and we call those the secondary chimneys, okay? They actually don't hit air. Just the ones that come out the main cheminée, the cheminée principale, would hit air. Numéro 4. Lorsque le magma atteint l'air libre, Il jaillit du cratère sous la forme de lave. So this stuff here is called magma when it's in the volcano, but as soon as it hits air, we call it lava. Okay, or en français, le lave. So we have lave when it hits the air. It's called magma when it is inside the volcano. And numéro 5, l'éruption volcanique peut être très violente. Elle projette alors des centaines de tonnes de lave, de cendres et de gaz dans les airs. L'éruption volcanique peut aussi être moins violente. Dans ce cas, la lave s'écoule lentement sur les pentes du volcan. So you could have a very violent volcano that projects, hundreds of tons of lava, of gas, of ash into the air. Or you can have ones that are less violent, okay, where the lava just comes out really slowly down the sides of the volcano. Numéro 6. Une fois à l'extérieur, la lave, les roches en fusion, refroidit lentement et se transforme en roche solide. So we talked about this before and how mountains are formed. So when it gets to the exterior, when the magma hits the air, the lava actually, gets colder and it hardens. Okay, so it slowly hardens into solid rock. Numéro 7. Le cône du volcan provient de l'accumulation des couches de lave refroidies et de cendres durcies au fil des années. So over time, over all the years, this cone, this volcano, see, you can see all the eruptions. So there was an eruption here, and then another one here, and it just keeps building and building and building and making the volcano higher and higher and higher because all that lava has exploded and then hardened over time. So if I click on the multimedia, it'll just show you an example of an active volcano here. Okay, so here, numéro 1, it says accumulation de magma. So right here, you can see it glowing there. So the pressure is getting really, really high in there. Then it's going to explode. The pressure is going to get so high, it's going to go up here, and the bouchon is going to break off the opening. And you'll see it's all the gas and the ash are coming out. Numéro 3, the magma is going to go up. La cheminée principale, so the main chimney, it's going to go up into and try to burst through the Earth's surface. Numéro 4, jalissement du magma. So the magma comes out, but then we call it lave, right? Lava when it hits the air. Numéro 5, projection de lave, de cendres et de gaz dans les airs. So the lava is going everywhere. The ash, the gas, it's all exploding into the air, very violently in this case. Refroidissement. So once the volcano has done, it's finished erupting, la lave se transforme, right, en roche solide. The lava becomes solid rock. And finally, à long terme, over time, the cone will grow back over, okay, and it may or may not explode at a later date. So c'est ça comment, so we learned about comment un volcan érupte, okay, how a volcano erupts. We learned the parts of a volcano. We learned the two ways that they're formed, by subduction or by les points chauds, hotspots. And we also learned where they're actually located. The majority of volcanoes are found. So après que vous avez regardé cette vidéo, vous pouvez regarder une autre vidéo. I'm going to put another video on here for you to watch. It's in English that will explain this in more detail as well. Et vous pouvez regarder les questions. Okay, we're going to do question 1, 2, et 1, 2, 4 et 6. So you can watch that and complete your MOLAB. Au revoir tout le monde.